you can still live your life with the disease. It doesn't have you, like you're in control. And whether it stops or not, you can do the things that you love.
Today, we are doing a little blast to the past. Today, I'm sharing some great information that I did a while ago, and it was just too good not to share with the Living Beyond with Hope community. So sit back and get ready to dig in and hear some great information. You're listening to Living Beyond with Hope. Hey, that's me.
Welcome to the podcast. This podcast is meant to help you realize you're more than a label, and you too can create a life you love despite it. Each week, we bring you tips and inspiring messages to help you take the positive steps in your health that will allow you to live beyond. Now sit back, relax, meal prep, or take a walk as you dig into today's topic with your host, a gal living her life to the fullest with type 1 diabetes, Hope Mangiafico.
Welcome to Hope Scope. I am really excited to share with you what I have today. I'm super excited to share with you what's to come and what's going on. But the reason for this topic is because I'm getting ready to travel. And I think that is important for everyone. And anybody that even is has a cold or really just any kind of health condition, this information is super important. So what we are talking about today is related to how to travel with a health condition. So again, if you don't know who I am, maybe you just stumbled across this, maybe the word health condition kind of sparked your interest, then welcome. I have type 1 diabetes, and what I do is I empower other people to honestly just really understand that whatever health condition they have, whatever diagnosis they have, whatever label, if you will, that's been put on them, it doesn't limit them. There are no limitations because prior to your diagnosis, whether it's type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, obesity, thyroid issues, anything at all, even if it's something that could be terminal, your life is not over. It's not ending. And so I try to just teach you and empower you, and especially if it's related to something that could be improved through lifestyle, I'm here to show you that you can love your life and live without a label and have the best experience ever and live the life that you desire. And again, I'm going to be on here a little less frequently, just like I have been the past week, because I'm traveling. But it's okay because it's going to be really awesome, really exciting, and Hope Will Help is about to blow your mind. And I'm so freaking excited. Well, let's get to the topic. So the first thing I want you to realize is that you cannot let your health condition stop you. A lot of people have these dreams, these desires, and sometimes they allow these things to just end them. They allow the diagnosis to just not going to happen. So for me, I love to travel, and I could very easily allow for my diabetes to stop me. While it would not be as drastic as it may be for other people living with other health conditions, it is still something that could stop me. If you don't know much about diabetes, just to put it simply, some days are horrible. You feel like crap, you don't want to do anything, and it would be easier just to stay in bed some days. And there are days that are that way. But even if you have another kind of health condition and you just simply want to go across the country to fly, but you've been told you can't do this, you can't do that, and you know that maybe you have special needs related to food or what have you, you've got to realize that there's a way around it. And maybe you can't leave the country or do something crazy like that. But there are ways where you can feel free. So the first thing you got to do is realize that it's not going to stop you, and it doesn't have to stop you. Okay? Secondly, I want you to remind yourself that the label that you have to remind yourself, just like myself, living with diabetes, that your label, whatever that might be, even if it's just something like asthma can limit your life in certain ways. It really can. And you can easily try out for a sport and things not go smoothly, and you'll be like, it's because I have asthma, or I can't run track because I have asthma, or I have sports-induced asthma. And you can't do that. You can't allow it to dictate your life. One thing I will say is if it's something that could be a reduced or controlled through lifestyle. You just have to have a change in mindset. And so this was not planned, but I figured I would show you. So like for me, I support things like this is the American Diabetes Association, and they're all about finding a cure, doing things that help people that are living with the condition right here, right now, today. They form communities, they're super supportive. And you can see that they say stop diabetes. And I'm telling you, I know this sounds like a super roundabout way, but to get to the topic, but I'm telling you this because while there's a long, long way for a cure to be found for specifically type 1s and even for type 2s to when they become dependent on insulin, you can still live your life with the disease. It doesn't have you, like you're in control. And while this shirt is really cool and it's saying stop diabetes, control it, let's do this, like whether it's stopped or not, you can do the things that you love. And I want to emphasize that because the next point related to traveling with a health condition is relevant to this because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what's in store for you, but you're not going to stop. You're going to keep going, and you can be supportive. You can donate to things that could help alleviate the health condition that you have. You can support those kind of campaigns, but I want you to have a positive outlook and realize that you've got this. That's it. It's super simple. And okay, the biggest one, and this is what most of you would be here for, is that you simply must know the facts. And I say this because a lot of times, and I just use myself as an example, when you travel, you hit a lot of walls, a lot of roadblocks, and a lot of difficulties because that's just life. So people that have diabetes, specifically type 1, who have pumps and CGMs and syringes and juice boxes, like they have such a hard time. And traveling, specifically like flying, I can't tell you how difficult it has been in the past. And even just getting a vial of insulin through the security is like a nightmare sometimes. And so you have to stand firm and you have to know your facts and be like, dude, like I need this. This is my life. So just like knowing your facts and being like, actually, this is my lifeline. Like this is how I survive and I'm allowed to do ABC. Super big deal because I know that when I put my foot down whenever I'm traveling, they listen. And they should because it's a serious thing. And you have to realize as well, and this is where kind of answering the question like, is diabetes hard to live with? It's not because I've learned to not just, like let it control my life, but I literally just live my life how I want to with diabetes. So I have learned how to have a completely normal life. And while traveling can be super challenging when having a health condition, especially a chronic one like diabetes, it doesn't have to be because like for me, it's become so much easier because I've learned how to control it. And so I have insulin still, I still have syringes, but like if something were to happen, like it would be a lot easier to manage because I am not doing things that would actually limit me even more, if that makes sense. So for me, that looks like going out to eat with my friends and say we're at the airport and we have a layover and we're going out to eat. I know exactly what will support me so that I can feel like my friend that I'm sitting across. So together we have all this energy and we feel great. So we're prepared for our travels in the best way possible. So I know this isn't like super deep, but I'm learning as I interact with more and more people that a lot of people just simply don't know what to do, or they feel out of control, and they want to like conquer things, but they don't know what to do. And like, I'm here to tell you, especially related to traveling, because I'll be gone and emphasize that in a second and kind of explain a little bit more. But you have to realize that you do you first. And it will all be taken care of. So like what I do now is I am a diagnosis strategist, if you will. So like if you're diagnosed with something and you want to plan a trip, well, I want to help you get there. I want to help you live the life you want despite your diagnosis because you were healthy beforehand. And especially if it's lifestyle related, we can get you back to that beforehand. So these aren't issues anymore. And if you're like interested at all in learning a little bit more about what I do and what my whole purpose is and why I'm so passionate about this and how I honestly have allowed my diabetes to not label me. Like, I'm so excited that the diabetes industry, like specifically, has actually like done away with the word diabetic, because we're not diabetic. We live a normal life and we can feel great and feel empowered and energized and be healthy. It's possible. So if you'd like to learn more about that, you can check out my website at myhopefulhealth.com, and that's also in my bio. But that's it. I just want you to realize that while you do need to be prepared, obviously, when you travel, like, don't go like, okay, I don't have this condition, I don't need anything. Like, no, don't do that. You can't do that. Like, for me, I had to take my insulin and make sure I have enough syringes and test strips and all that fun stuff, my meter, so maybe extra batteries. Like, go prepared, absolutely, but just realize that you got to know your stuff and know your rights, and you'll be great. But that is probably what I should have mentioned is like the number one rule is be prepared. Because the worst thing that could happen is you not be prepared with everything that you need and having to go like to a local pharmacy, having insurance problems, having to pay out of pocket, this, that, and another. And so starting with being prepared, the rest of your travel endeavors can go super smoothly and you can be super successful. So that's it.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It means the world to me to be able to serve you and help you live beyond. If you found today's episode helpful or beneficial or share-worthy, I would love a review in iTunes. A review in iTunes allows me to know what was helpful and allows us together to continue to change lives and help other people live beyond their diagnosis or label. And if you did find this share-worthy or helpful, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. If you're on an Apple device, you can go to the podcast app or the iTunes store and type in Living Beyond with Hope, and there you can subscribe or listen to other episodes. When you subscribe, this allows you to know when there's a new podcast released. If you're on an Android device, no worries, I got you. All you have to do is download the Stitcher app and search for Living Beyond with Hope there and subscribe there. You can also go to www.livingbeyondwithhope.com if you would like to listen to the episode again, if you would like to see the show notes and any links that were mentioned in this episode. Today's episode was also brought to you by my Living Beyond the Label audiobook. If you enjoyed this and you like hanging out with me in your ear, then you would love to get your hands on this audiobook. It helps us together strategize your best and most balanced life. If you want to learn more about it and to get your hands on the audio and the worksheets that go with it, you can go to www.mybalanceplan.com. The link is also in the show notes, and there you'll be able to start strategizing your best life. Have an amazing rest of your day, and remember to keep living beyond.